Welcome to English Universe. Today we have a new story for you. Listen carefully and repeat each sentence to improve your English skills. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Now let's begin. My name is Emily Carter. I am 22 years old and I have made a lot of mistakes in my life. Some were small, some were big, but there is one mistake that I will never forget. It was my most embarrassing mistake, and today I am going to tell you about it. It all started last year when I got a new job. I had just graduated from college and was excited to start working. I was hired as an assistant at a big marketing company. It was my first real job and I wanted to make a good impression. I wanted my boss to see that I was smart, hardworking, and responsible. But things did not go as planned. On my first day, I arrived at the office early. I wore my best outfit, smiled at everyone, and tried to act confident. My boss, Mr. Richardson, was a serious man. He was tall, with gray hair and a deep voice. He welcomed me to the company and gave me a list of tasks. Most of them were simple: sending emails, organizing files, making coffee. I thought to myself, this is easy. I can do this. But then he gave me an important task. He asked me to schedule a meeting with one of our biggest clients, Mr. Thompson. Make sure everything is perfect, he said. This meeting is very important. I nodded. Of course, sir. I will take care of it. I felt proud that he trusted me with something important. I checked the calendar and found an available time. Then I wrote an email to Mr. Thompson. I made sure to be professional and polite. Dear Mr. Thompson, I hope you are doing well. I would like to schedule a meeting with you and Mr. Richardson on Friday at 2 p.m. Please let me know if that works for you. I checked the email twice just to be sure. Everything looked perfect. I clicked send. A few minutes later, I got a reply. It was from Mr. Thompson's assistant. She wrote, Friday at 2 p.m. works perfectly. Thank you for arranging the meeting. I smiled. That was easy, I thought. I went to Mr. Richardson's office and told him that the meeting was confirmed. He looked at me and said, Good job, Emily. I felt so happy. I had completed my first important task successfully, but I had no idea what was about to happen. On Friday, I arrived at the office early again. I made sure everything was ready. I prepared the meeting room, set up the projector, and printed the documents. At 1:50 p.m., Mr. Richardson walked in. Is everything ready? He asked. I nodded. Yes, sir. The meeting will start in 10 minutes. He sat down and checked his notes. A few minutes passed, but Mr. Thompson did not arrive. 5 more minutes passed. Then 10 minutes. Then 15. Mr. Richardson looked at me and said, Emily, where is Mr. Thompson? I felt nervous. I checked my email again. He confirmed the meeting, I said. Call his office, Mr. Richardson said. I picked up the phone and called Mr. Thompson's assistant. Hello, this is Emily from Mr. Richardson's office. We are waiting for Mr. Thompson. Is he on his way? There was a long pause. Then she said, On his way? I don't think so. The meeting is scheduled for next Friday, not today. My heart stopped. Next Friday, I repeated. Yes, she said. That's what your email said. I opened my email and read it again. I gasped. I had made a huge mistake. Instead of writing this Friday, I had written next Friday. I felt sick. My face turned red. My hands started to shake. I looked at Mr. Richardson. He was staring at me. "What's going on?" he asked. I took a deep breath. I made a mistake," I whispered. "I accidentally scheduled the meeting for next Friday instead of today." There was silence in the room. Mr. Richardson closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Then he said, "Emily, this is a very big mistake. We have been preparing for this meeting all week. Do you realize how serious this is?" I nodded. "I'm so sorry, sir. It was an accident. I will fix it." "How will you fix it?" he asked. I didn't know what to say. The mistake had already happened. I couldn't change it. I felt tears in my eyes, but I didn't want to cry in front of him. I wanted to be strong. After a long pause, Mr. Richardson finally spoke. "We will reschedule the meeting. But, Emily, I need you to be more careful in the future. Mistakes like this can cost the company a lot of money." I nodded. "I understand, sir. I promise to be more careful." The rest of the day I felt terrible. I kept thinking about my mistake. I had wanted to make a good impression, but instead I had made a huge mistake. I was embarrassed and ashamed. But I also learned an important lesson that day. I learned that small details matter. One simple word, "next," had changed everything. I learned that in the professional world, even small mistakes can have big consequences. After that day, I became much more careful. I checked my emails 3 times before sending them. I double-checked meeting dates and times. And slowly, I started to regain my confidence. Now, whenever I feel embarrassed about that mistake, I remind myself that mistakes are a part of learning. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is that we learn from them and try to do better next time. And that was my most embarrassing mistake. Now, let's review some key vocabulary from the story. Listen and repeat after me. Embarrassing, causing someone to feel ashamed or uncomfortable. Assistant, a person who helps someone in their job. Impression, the way that someone appears to others. Professional, related to a job or career. Reschedule, to change the date or time of an event. Now, try to use these words in your own sentences. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to English Universe for more stories like this. See you next time.